Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about some things that are a little bit more serious than any of my other videos have ever been. I'm going to try to talk about quite a few things. I don't know how much I'm ready to put out in the world yet, but I'm going to try. I know that I may only have like 5 subscribers, and on average I only get about 30 views per video, but I'm still not sure if I want that to be on the internet so that anybody can view it whenever they want. So I guess we'll just get into the story time. Also, I know that I look a little ridiculous right now, but that's mainly because I didn't want to put on real clothes, and I didn't want to do my makeup and my hair and all that stuff. Just not feeling it right now. And I regret not putting on makeup a little bit just because the bags under my eyes make it look like I've been beaten up all the time. But that is life. So I guess we should get into story time. So I haven't been on social media that much in the past 2 weeks roughly. I didn't post when my previous video came out, and I didn't post a video last week. I did post a couple of things on Instagram just to kind of like keep appearances up, I guess, but nothing like I normally do. And most of the time people don't really notice that, and I mean, because that can be kind of normal for me. I'll post something and then I won't feel like posting something or what have you, but there's a reason behind it. So about a week and a half ago, I came home from work and I was doing my dance routines that I normally do for exercise, because I sit at a desk at work currently. That's about to change, but that's irrelevant. But I came home from work. I was doing my dance exercises, and during one of the moves that I tried to do, my foot basically tried to do something that my body can't handle. But when I was trying to land on my foot, instead of landing flat like I normally do, my foot decided it was going to try and land pointed, like kind of like a ballerina would land. I don't know how to do that. So the end result was it hurt. So after that happened, I came into my bedroom, kind of limping because I couldn't really feel it yet. And I was like, hey, to my husband, I think I broke my toe. And at first he didn't really take me seriously because, and that's partially my fault, but because I always say that I broke my toe whenever I stub it. And he was like, okay. And I was like, no, I think I really broke it. Like, it really hurts this time. And he's like, are you sure? And so I look at my toe, and it hasn't even been 5 minutes yet, and it's already swelling and bruising. And I was like, yeah, I think I actually broke it. And he goes, oh, okay. So we got our kids dressed, we got dressed, which trying to get dressed with a just broken toe is not the easiest thing in the world. Let me just put it that way. So by the time I got dressed and everybody got dressed and we were going down to the car, I could no longer put pressure on my foot. So I had to hop. And we live on the 2nd floor, so going down the stairs was fun. My husband had to take my kids downstairs first and put them in the car, and then I'm impatient. This is like, I don't like waiting, so I basically just hopped down the stairs by myself, which wasn't too hard because we have railings and I can hold on to it. So anyway, we go to the hospital. Get to the hospital, and I'm feeling like an idiot because they put me in a wheelchair, And I don't like wheelchairs or crutches or anything like that that draws attention to me, because then it makes me feel like I'm faking it, like because I can tough through it. I don't know, I don't know, that's just the way I feel about things. Like I don't like wheelchairs or wearing weird boots or anything that draws extra attention to me. Like I don't like that kind of attention. But anyway, so they pushed me around in the wheelchair and I'm like absolutely mortified. But anyway, so we get to the hospital, they're pushing me around in the wheelchair, which has me absolutely mortified. And we get to a room. I basically just sit in the room with my kids while my husband goes and moves the car, because he left it up at the front entrance and you can't do that. But anyway, so doctor comes in and he's like pressing on my toe or pressing on my foot, which like I can handle pain, but as soon as somebody goes to like touch it, I freak out. It's not necessarily because it hurts, it's just like it makes my anxiety go through the roof. So I'm like freaking the hell out as he's doing this. And he's like, oh, does your foot hurt here? Does it hurt when I press here? So he's just trying to make sure that my foot wasn't broken. So he's like, okay, well, I don't think your foot is broken, so let's just get some x-rays. Right? And just to backtrack a little, on our way to the hospital, I started crying because I was like, oh my God, I have to go to the hospital and they're going to do x-rays and all this other stuff. And I was like, I can't, how am I going to afford to pay this? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, so they get the x-rays. X-rays were brutal because they had to like move my toe where it was the only thing within the frame, and it was my second toe. So trying to move my big toe and the rest of my toes out of the way was not pleasant. It required a popsicle stick and me contorting my body in ways that were very uncomfortable. But anyway, so I got x-rays. The doctor comes back after the x-rays, and he goes, okay, well, I think your toe is definitely like out of place. Like I think you jammed it and it's moved out of place, so we're gonna have to yank on it. And I was like, oh God. So they were nice enough to come and numb my toe. And the numbing part was probably the worst part of all of this. Well, the worst part for me anyway. So they stick a needle that's like this long, full of morphine, into my toe, and getting stuck with the needle didn't hurt so bad, but when the morphine went in there, it felt like somebody, like my toe was on fire and somebody was squeezing it at the same time. Just completely unpleasant. So he numbs it, he leaves. I'm freaking out trying to calm my anxiety so I'm like freaking out because like one, that hurt and it sucked and my anxiety's through the roof because of this and it's just awful. But then he leaves and then eventually he comes back once it's numb, and then he yanks on my toe, which honestly wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was pretty numb, like I couldn't really feel it. But he popped it back in, took some more x-rays, and then left. So now this is not necessarily relevant to my story, but it's, I guess, interesting because it was crazy. So after they took the x-rays, they left, and it's just me, my husband, and my kids in the room, and we have our door open so they can come in and out. But suddenly somebody in the lobby starts screaming, and they're like, help, I need help, I've been shot. Just screaming bloody murder. And it's like, what the hell is going on? So my husband closes the door, which might have seemed rude, but we had our children in the room and we didn't really want them to see that as they came by. And it's a good thing we did shut the door because the guy ended up being put in the room right next to ours. And it was quite scary because we could hear his heart monitor next door, and it flatlined quite a few times. So in the midst of all this, like, we're not a priority at this point. Like, I understand that that's completely okay because the person in the next room is dying because they've been shot multiple times. So we were at the hospital for over 5 hours. I sent my husband to go take the kids to get food because they were hungry and cranky and tired and all that good stuff. After all this happened, a lot of people, so a lot of people in my life know that I have suffered with depression and anxiety for a very long time. But not many people have like firsthand witnessed it. I have very high functioning depression, so when I'm out and I'm doing things, most people would never be able to tell. Most people I meet and I'm friends with and I hang out with that are just like regular friends, they just don't see that side because, like I said, it's high functioning, so I don't really, I wouldn't say that. I struggle to do daily things all the time, but I put it off so well, like I play it off so well that people don't notice that I have issues. Like, I have issues getting out of bed, I have issues cleaning, I have issues doing my dishes, I have issues doing all these things, and people just don't know. But that's okay. Like, I understand, like, it's because I don't express those things in my day-to-day life, which is good because I don't want it to cause a problem with my job. I don't want it to cause a problem with me possibly losing my job. So I hope that's like understandable. So after I broke my toe, I guess maybe because I couldn't do things that I would normally do throughout my day, like I had a hard time getting up and walking and taking my kids to the bathtub and getting them out of the bathtub and things that I normally don't really have a physical problem with. I did because it was hard for me to walk. So I had a very rough time doing daily life things, even more so than normal, and I feel like that just amplified my depression. So for the past week and a half, it's gotten better here recently, the last couple of days, but for the past like week and a half, I've been like severely depressed, and it's been fun. So I've still been continuing to go to work. I don't really have a choice in that concept, but still been going to work, all that good stuff. But when it came to home, I just wanted to lay in the bed and not do anything I didn't have to do. So this past weekend, because on the weekends, as of right now, I won't be like that anymore, but as of right now, on the weekends, I was working 12-hour shifts, so I was working from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. So I would leave in the mornings not long before my kids would get up, and I would come home right after they would go to bed. And while I was at work for those 2 days working those 12-hour shifts, my husband, who is amazing, and I want to brag on him so much right now, cleaned our apartment because I wasn't physically able to do all the things that I needed to do to help him with that. Like, he cleaned it, he organized it, it's so nice, and I actually got to go pick up the little bit of stuff that's out there now because I don't want him to have cleaned everything and then it just get messy again because of my depression. So that's like the main thing that I wanted to talk about, is why I've been away. Like I said, a lot of people don't see my depression firsthand. My husband doesn't even always see it. Like, I know he has seen it because there have been moments where it's just been so bad, but on a day-to-day basis, he doesn't like see my depression. He doesn't feel it. He doesn't necessarily understand it because sometimes. So my husband doesn't really understand my depression just because of the fact that it can come from nowhere. It's not necessarily always like, oh, I'm depressed because of this, or oh, I'm depressed because of that. Like, it's just there. And yeah, there, like, when bad things happen, it triggers it, but it's just always there. Like, there's no necessary, I mean, I'm sure there is a reason behind it, but there's no like strict cause as to why it's there. Like, I've struggled with depression since I was like 7 years old. So, like, I mean, I obviously know how to handle it by now because it's been like 16 years that I've been dealing with it. So it's easy for me to like handle it and know how to do certain things as much as I can, but there's still like some aspects that it's like really, it's hard. It's hard for me to get out of bed in the morning. Most of the time, if I'm not going to work and I know I have to get out of bed right now, like if I'm not going to work, I will lay here for about an hour after I wake up just trying to get the energy to be able to get out of bed. My anxiety is really high. I have really hard time with social anxiety, so which makes it difficult working customer service jobs, which seems to be what I'm good at. I think I've just been doing it for so long that I just know how to do it. So there's a lot of times where I say something like, I'll say good morning and it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'll feel like a complete idiot and beat myself up mentally about it. And it sucks. Like, it's awful. Like, I just feel like I'm dumb and I'm losing all my brain power that I used to have as a child because I was really smart in school, and I feel like I just lost all of that and turned into a brain dead idiot. But the reason that I wanted to even say any of this and put this on my channel is because I really want to be truthful and honest on my channel. I never want to be like a fake person because that's just not who I am. Like, I think even if I tried to be a fake person, I would like fail miserably at it. Like, there would be parts of me seeping through that because I just can't physically do that. Like, I just can't. But there are some things that I'm just not ready to talk about either, because there are still things that I'm struggling with that even I don't understand why I'm doing that or being like that or whatever. Like, I don't understand it yet. Also, my kids' TV just started playing randomly, so that's a little strange. Now I'm gonna turn it off. I was pretty sure it was already turned off. But I really wanted to talk about this stuff on my channel and explain what's going on. There's a lot of stuff that I also want to talk about, but I don't even know how to put that in here. So with my anxiety and depression, I've been struggling a lot to figure out content for my channel. There's not one particular thing that I want to do. There's like multiples. So like, I want to do makeup reviews, but the problem with that sometimes is I don't always have the money to be able to afford new products that are like coming out now and are like the talk, and we want to see like how those look, or like original content. You know what I mean? Like, I got the Jawbreaker palette, yes, because like I love Jeffree Star and his products, but there's other stuff that have come out, other things that have come out that I really want to try, but I can't afford it right now. Like, the only reason I could get the Jeffree Star stuff was because he has Afterpay, and I can make 4 different payments for one order. Instead of paying $200 at one time, I can pay $50 4 times every 2 weeks, so over the course of 2 months. So like, there's things I wanted to try, like the Juvia's Place foundation and concealer and stuff like that, but I can't afford it. I really need to get a new foundation that for me, that's actually my skin tone, because the only one that I have is from when I was really tan over the summer, and it doesn't even match my skin anymore. So if I don't blend it down to my chest and stuff, I look crazy. And that wastes a lot of product too. So, but I also want to do things like vlogs, and I want to talk about serious issues that not a lot of people talk about, and I want to do music, and I want to create my own makeup line, and I want to do all these things in my life that I can't just settle on one thing. Like, I just want to do a little bit of everything. Like, it just seems so fun. Like, I want to try a little bit of everything. And some of those things require money that I just don't have. So I have to wait until I move up in life, or if I get lucky and my YouTube channel takes off, I have to wait until those things happen to be able to afford the things that I want to do. So that aspect kind of sucks, but it's the world that we live in, and we've just got to accept that. So, I mean, that's the majority of the things that I want to talk about. Like I said, like, I don't want my channel to be like one thing, but I feel like if I don't make it one specific thing that people are going to look for and watch, that I'm not going to go anywhere with my YouTube channel, because it's going to be a bunch of random things that I do all the time, and it's not content that somebody can rely on. It's not the same track, and I feel like that could make the growth of my channel even smaller, or not as, I don't know how to word it. Like, it won't grow as fast, as soon as it would if I just stuck to one particular content. But that's not who I am. Like, I like to do different things all the different time. Like, I play with music, and I play with makeup, and I love makeup, and I went to cosmetology school, and I know how to do hair, and I like doing hair, and I like doing all these different things. And I want to do all these different things, and I want to show people all the different things that I want to do and what it's like and how to try it. And I want to interview people and talk to them about their lives and their struggles, and talk about my struggles, and eventually work up to stuff that I haven't even like figured out in my head that are a problem with me, that are struggles, and talk to other people about their struggles and how they handled it and how it can help me handle it. And I guess I'm just gonna try my best to do everything that I want to do, and I hope people enjoy watching me do stupid shit. But I think that's it for this video. Like, I appreciate it if you guys stuck through with it. Thank you for watching. I hope that this helps somebody. I hope that this makes people feel like they're not alone. I hope that somebody can also understand what I'm going through, and how I don't always necessarily have one specific thing that triggers my depression, or one specific time where my depression started, or any of that. But I hope it helps somebody. I hope somebody feels like they're not alone. And I really appreciate everybody who watches me and supports me, especially my husband, because he's like the most amazing person to me, even when I don't necessarily deserve it. But thank you, and I'll see you next time I upload something.